Did you know that the most dangerous time of day for people over 16 isn't when you're walking outside? It's the moment you open your eyes in the morning. According to the American Heart Association, up to 85% of heart attacks and strokes in older adults occur within the first 1 to 2 hours after waking up. That's when blood pressure surges, your blood thickens after a night of dehydration, your joints are stiff, your heartbeat irregular, and your brain is starving for oxygen. This silent killer gives no warning. It leaves behind paralysis, or worse, it leaves nothing at all. Have you ever felt dizzy stepping out of bed? A sharp pain in your chest that fades? Numbness or tingling in your limbs that you just brushed off? These could be early heart attack symptoms, signs of a stroke, or even the onset of a silent heart attack, your body's quiet plea for help. But here's the good news. You don't need expensive treatments or fancy equipment. Just 5 minutes each morning and 5 simple actions done right at home could slash your risk of a heart attack or stroke by over 70%, backed by research from Harvard Health, the Mayo Clinic, and the National Institute on Aging. Watch this video to the end, because sometimes the difference between life and death isn't in a miracle. It's in 5 minutes you've been overlooking every morning.
It often starts subtly. A little fatigue, some jaw tightness, mild nausea, maybe just a flutter in your chest, or a bit of shoulder discomfort that you chalk up to just sleeping wrong. But what if I told you these could be early signs of a heart attack, and they may show up as early as 1 month before a major cardiac event? A 2005 study published in Circulation, the Journal of the American Heart Association, found that over 50% of heart attack survivors had warning symptoms weeks in advance, but most didn't realize it until it was too late. These 7 early symptoms include unusual fatigue, sleep disturbances, shortness of breath, indigestion, anxiety or a sense of dread, chest discomfort, even if mild, pain in the upper body, arms, neck, jaw, or back. What's even more concerning, women often experience different, quieter symptoms than men. According to the Cleveland Clinic, women are more likely to report nausea, jaw pain, or back pain instead of the classic crushing chest pain most men describe. And strokes, they're just as deceptive. Minor stroke symptoms can include sudden confusion, weakness in one arm, or a brief moment of vision loss. The National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke reminds us that silent strokes are common in older adults and often go unnoticed until cumulative damage appears as memory loss or coordination issues. Even more alarming, the signs of a mini-stroke in women, such as facial drooping, slurred speech, or dizziness, are often misread as signs of stress or fatigue. So here's the truth. Heart attacks and strokes don't always come with a dramatic collapse. Many begin as whispers, not shouts. But if you learn to listen, you may have time to act. Because recognizing the signs and symptoms of stroke and heart attack in yourself or in someone you love isn't just medical knowledge, it's life-saving wisdom.
Now that we understand how quiet and deadly heart attacks and strokes can be, let's begin with the very first thing you can do, literally within 60 seconds of opening your eyes, to lower your risk. Drink 1 glass of room temperature water with fresh lemon. It might sound simple, even too simple, but it's a game changer. Overnight, your body loses nearly 0.5 liters or 17 ounces of water just through breathing and sweating without you even realizing it. That's according to the National Sleep Foundation and Mayo Clinic. And by morning, your blood becomes thicker, making it harder for your heart to pump and increasing your risk of clotting, which can trigger a stroke or heart attack. The American Heart Association has warned that morning hours carry the highest risk of cardiac events, in part because of this overnight dehydration. Rehydrating your body within the first minute of waking up helps thin the blood, improves circulation, and eases strain on your heart and blood vessels.
Why add lemon? Not just for taste. Lemon juice contains potassium, vitamin C, and antioxidants, all proven to support vascular function. According to Harvard Health Publishing, these nutrients can help relax blood vessels, regulate blood pressure, and even reduce inflammation linked to congestive heart failure. Importantly, use room temperature water. Cold water may cause blood vessels to constrict, which is exactly what we want to avoid right after waking. It's a quiet ritual, one that doesn't cost a penny more than a lemon and a glass of water. But it tells your body, I care about you. Let's start today with strength. You've just learned your first daily defense against stroke and heart disease. And the next habit? It will take only 90 seconds and could drastically reduce stiffness, prevent falls, and reawaken your joints, something every senior should hear.
You've rehydrated. Now, let's get the blood flowing. If you've ever stood up in the morning and felt lightheaded, slightly off balance, or as if your legs were stiff like old hinges, you're not alone. But those sensations aren't just aging, they're early warning signs. In fact, feeling dizzy when you get up could be a sign of stroke or heart attack, especially if it happens regularly. Here's the good news. It takes only 90 seconds to begin reversing that risk. Start while still in bed or seated. Rotate each ankle 10 times clockwise and 10 times counterclockwise. Then roll your shoulders back and forward 5 times each. Stand slowly, holding on to a chair or wall, and perform 10 gentle heel raises, lifting your heels off the ground, then lowering them with control. According to a study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, this simple routine can increase blood flow to the brain by up to 40%, improving clarity, reducing fall risk, and protecting your heart from sudden stress spikes. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that falls are the leading cause of injury and death among older Americans, and morning stiffness is a key contributor. Joint movement also stimulates synovial fluid, the natural lubricant in your joints, which thickens overnight and needs gentle motion to warm up. This isn't exercise, it's reawakening, a ritual of respect for your own body. So before your coffee, before the morning news, give yourself 90 seconds, because every step you take afterward will be safer, stronger, and more connected. Next, we'll talk about a hidden danger even more silent than a stiff joint, muscle loss. And what you eat and when can be the deciding factor between growing older and staying strong. By now, your body is hydrated, your blood is flowing, your joints are moving. But let's address something most people never realize is happening until it's too late. You may be losing muscle mass every single morning, even before breakfast. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it begins around age 60. According to the National Institute on Aging, older adults can lose up to 8% of their muscle mass per decade, and that rate accelerates with inactivity or poor nutrition. But it's not just about looking fit. Low muscle mass is directly linked to increased risk of falls, disability, insulin resistance, and heart failure. Here's where timing matters. Research from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that consuming 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within the first 30 minutes of waking can significantly reduce age-related muscle loss. Why? Because overnight, your body enters a catabolic state. It starts breaking down muscle tissue for energy. Morning protein acts like a rescue team, stopping that breakdown in its tracks. More importantly, for heart health, lean muscle mass helps regulate blood pressure and blood sugar, two major risk factors for congestive heart failure and cardiovascular disease. So, what's a simple, smart breakfast? 1 cup of Greek yogurt with berries and chia seeds, 4 to 5 egg whites plus 1 whole egg, a whey protein shake, especially if you have trouble eating early. For plant-based diets, soft tofu, almond butter on whole grain toast, or pea protein smoothies.
These options are part of the best diet for heart disease: low in saturated fat, high in essential amino acids, and easy to digest. A special note: if you have chronic kidney disease or are on a low-protein diet prescribed by your doctor, consult before increasing protein. But for most seniors, this one habit, nourishing your muscles early, could be the key to staying independent, upright, and energetic for years to come. Next, we'll shift from muscle to mind and discover a simple mental technique proven to sharpen memory and possibly delay cognitive decline. Because health isn't just in the body, it begins in the brain.
Now that your body is hydrated, moving, and fueled, let's talk about what really defines your independence: your mind. Cognitive decline is one of the biggest fears as we age, and rightly so. According to the Alzheimer's Association, 1 in 9 Americans over age 65 has Alzheimer's disease, and millions more experience some form of memory loss or brain fog. But here's the empowering truth: you can train your brain to stay sharp, and all it takes is 1 quiet minute each morning. It's called the reverse recall technique. After waking, once you've completed your hydration and movement, sit down, close your eyes, and mentally walk backward through your previous day. Start from bedtime, move through the evening, dinner, afternoon, all the way back to morning. Try to recall who you spoke with, what you did, where you were, in reverse order. Why does this matter? Because this mental exercise activates the hippocampus, the area of your brain responsible for memory. It boosts production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, often called fertilizer for the brain. A study published in Neuroscience Letters found that morning cognitive stimulation can delay age-related memory decline by up to a decade. Even more impressive, mental sharpness is tied to heart health, according to Harvard Health. Clearer thinking supports better stress regulation, sleep, and decision-making, all of which protect your cardiovascular system. You can further support brain and heart function with vitamins for heart health like omega-3s, B-complex, magnesium, and supplements for heart health such as CoQ10 or turmeric. Always check with your doctor first. It's easy to feel like aging means losing control, but every morning, with 1 thoughtful minute, you take some of it back. And now, for the final piece of your morning routine, we return to where we began: your blood, and the silent risk that still lingers if you don't act fast.
With your brain now activated and your body energized, there's one last morning habit to complete your daily defense, one that nourishes every cell in your heart and mind. It begins with food. But not just any food, the kind that heals, strengthens, and protects. The American Heart Association recommends a plant-forward, low-sodium, anti-inflammatory diet as the gold standard for heart health and stroke prevention. What does that mean in simple terms? Load your plate with leafy greens like spinach and kale, rich in folate and potassium. Berries packed with antioxidants to fight brain aging. Whole grains such as oats and quinoa to stabilize blood sugar and cholesterol. Healthy fats from avocados, nuts, and olive oil. To go a step further, many seniors benefit from supplements for heart health, especially when appetite is low or certain nutrients are harder to absorb with age. Based on Harvard Health and Cleveland Clinic recommendations, the most beneficial include omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, reduce inflammation and protect arteries. Coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10 supports heart muscle energy. Magnesium and potassium help regulate blood pressure and heartbeat rhythm. B-complex vitamins nourish the nervous system and improve cognition. But nutrition is more than nutrients. It's a rhythm. One of the simplest ways to stabilize your body is to eat smaller, balanced meals at regular times. As we age, digestion slows and blood sugar becomes harder to control. Eating predictably helps maintain energy and avoids dangerous spikes and crashes. So remember, even if breakfast feels small, a bowl of oatmeal, a boiled egg, a handful of walnuts, It can fuel not just your day, but your years ahead. And that brings us full circle. 5 small, science-backed habits, each one easy, but together powerful enough to help you live longer, move freely, and stay sharp, one morning at a time. Let me tell you about Harold, 78, from Oregon. He used to wake up exhausted, his joints stiff, his mind foggy. But after committing to these 5 simple habits, just 5 minutes each morning, he says, "I now walk my dog before sunrise, and I haven't needed my cane in months." And then there's Maria, 82, a retired librarian in Texas. She said, "I thought memory loss was just part of aging, but doing the recall exercise each morning made me feel like myself again, sharp, curious, alive." These aren't miracles. They're choices, small, consistent, loving choices. So I'll ask you, how will your morning tomorrow change after hearing this? Can you picture yourself watering your garden as the sun rises, reading the newspaper without fatigue, or strolling the park with your grandchildren, not out of obligation, but out of joy? A longer, fuller life doesn't start in a hospital or a pharmacy. It begins in the stillness of dawn with a glass of water, a few deep breaths, a memory revisited, a muscle stretched, a heart nourished. Your life isn't behind you. It's waking up with you, one morning at a time. Finally, please remember that the information in this video is for educational and inspirational purposes. To get medical advice that is best suited for your individual health condition, especially if you have underlying medical issues or are taking medication, please always consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional.